Hi, I'm John Miller with Hive Lighting, and one of my favorite things to light was tabletop photography and cinematography. So while I'm home, I wanted to see if I could replicate some of my techniques here in my apartment using Hive lights and what I had around the house. I wanted to make a relatively simple tabletop setup. Even though I was trying to create a darker look, I actually wanted to use relatively bright light levels. And the reason for that is I want to use as low an ISO as possible, and I want to use the highest f-stop I can get away with because I often want the flexibility of a deeper depth of field. So the four lights I had in this scene were the Wasp 100C, the Wasp 100CX, the Hornet 200CX, and the Hornet 200C. I paired four different modifiers with the four different lights. I used our small paradome with a 60 centimeter face with my 200C. I used a super spot reflector with my 200CX, a par reflector with my 100CX, and finally I paired our mini Source 4 with the 100C. The first thing I did was create a backlight or back glow for the actual frosted glass and the liquid inside the bottle. And I did this with one of my favorite techniques, which is I took a piece of paper, and with that piece of paper, I cut out the shape of the bottle. I then propped that piece of paper up behind the bottle so that from the camera angle, you couldn't actually see the piece of paper, but it filled the entire bottle's background. Then I took the mini Source 4 and I used it to shine light only on the paper itself. So using the shutters that allow you to cut and shape the light, I was able to make sure that the light coming out of that Wasp 100C only hit the paper itself and then bounced into the back of the bottle. The result is this fantastic glow. It's almost as if I had placed a light inside the bottle itself. The second element that I wanted to add to this scene was to make sure that there was a background. I wanted to make sure that you felt some depth. So I'm shooting this on a relatively long lens, again with a relatively deep f-stop, but the combination of the long lens and the depth I'm able to achieve on the dining room table means that I can put objects that are recognizable but out of focus in the background of the frame to just sort of bounce the frame. So I took my second 100C, and this was my 100CX. I put a par reflector on it, and I just shone a very directional hard light onto the background just to give it some shape. The third light I added was the 200CX with the super spot reflector on it. So this light is actually probably doing the most in the entire scene in terms of doing a variety of different things. The first thing it's doing is it is giving that really hot, hard edge to the bottle. The other thing this light is doing is it is hitting into a bunch of white paper that I'm using as a bounce card. And that bounce card is providing a huge amount of the illumination on the front face of the bottle, but it is also providing the fill for the rest of the scene. The final light that's added is a 200C in our paradome. And so this is used really as a top light. I really wanted to make sure that I evened out the bottle and filled in the darkness on the label itself. It's really important that you make sure that when you're doing a product shot, you want to be able to show the label. The other thing I wanted to do was to give a little bit of light on the table itself. I didn't want it to fully bleed into the backdrop. So I wanted to make sure that you could see sort of the table versus the background itself and really set the actual bottle itself as the brightest thing in the frame that really attracted your eye to it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to learn more about Hive Lighting, visit our website, hivelighting.com, or follow us on Twitter or Instagram @Hive Lighting, or check out our YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe. Thank you again. Be safe and be well.